Hi everyone, my name is Beatrice and I graduated from Political Science and Diplomacy at Yonsei University, and I'm currently pursuing my master's at GSIS, also at Yonsei University. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of my friends and acquaintances who would like to continue their journey at Yonsei have been asking me, which is the differences and similarities between PSIS, aka Yonsei undergraduate degree, and GSIS, aka the master's degree. So today I'm going to be comparing PSIS and GSIS side by side. First things first, when I say PSIS, I mean Political Science and Diplomacy Department at Yonsei, which is the undergraduate degree. And when I say GSIS, I mean the International Studies Master Program at Yonsei University. So this video is focused on the differences and similarities between these two programs based on my own personal experiences. However, I'm in my first semester of graduate school, so I'm still learning how things work, so hopefully later I can report back with some more insights. Okay, let's start with the physical environment. In PSIS, first-year students go to the Incheon campus, and then from second year onwards, they come to Sincheon, and especially for PSIS, you have most of your classes in Yoni Hall. And if you've been to campus at Yonsei, you know that Yoni Hall is probably the most iconic building, both Yoni and Underwood. They're very iconic, beautiful buildings. You have the beautiful front with the plants. But honestly, it wasn't very practical to study there because it's kind of old inside and we don't really have like a convenience store. Some buildings at Yonsei have convenience stores, they have cafeterias inside, but for us, we barely had a working coffee machine. Like, it's a problem. On the other hand, GSIS students are based in Sincheon from the first semester, and the main building is the New Millennium Hall, which is on the Ilhwa side of the campus. It's not as pretty or iconic as Yoni, but it's much more practical, especially because this semester they opened a student lounge and some new classrooms, so now it's more practical than ever. You have coffee shops inside, you have restaurants, you have a convenience store, which is super cool. So while Yoni gave me those classic Yonsei vibes, I think Millennium Hall is definitely more comfortable for day-to-day student life, and you have more places to actually sit down and study. Oh, and Millennium Hall has a whole library inside. On the third floor, you have a library where you can get books from, but also some tables, and it's pretty comfortable to study there, so that's really cool. Yoni Hall still wins in my heart though, of course, that I've made so many memories there throughout the years. I've napped many times in the sofa in the fourth floor. Is it still there? I'm not sure. There was a sofa in the fourth floor. I've napped there, okay? About the classrooms, this was one thing that kind of shocked me because classrooms are quite different. In GSIS, many of them are bigger, and actually most times they're auditoriums, and then there's like seats and folded tables. I don't know if all of the classrooms were like this, but at least one of the main classrooms in the first floor is like that, and you just pick up your table and open it in front of you, and it's not very convenient, and I didn't know how to do it on the first day, so that kind of stressed me out. In PSIS, the classrooms felt more standard. It's just a table in front of you, and it was easier to charge your laptop as well. In terms of class content, the structure is actually pretty similar, at least for me, because I graduated from international studies and now I'm continuing studying international studies, but in the graduate level. The lectures, the discussions, the assignments, they're all pretty similar to undergraduate degrees so far, but the material is at a much higher level, at least comparing my two majors. So it definitely feels like the next step up from undergrad, and it's very focused on research and on critical thinking. So it's not just about learning new information and taking an exam at the end of the semester. It's much more about, okay, so how can I produce an original thought from this knowledge? But I do think that is how graduate school works, not just in Yonsei, but in all universities. Something unique in GSIS is the course registration process, because unlike undergrad, where registration was literally a war with everyone trying to grab spots, GSIS felt way calmer. Of course, to be fair, this is my first semester, so I'm not sure how the next semesters are going to go, but so far, so good. Like, I really enjoy having enough spots for everyone. Also in GSIS, there are some required classes for first semester students, but here's the twist. If you've already taken something similar, you could actually get them waived. That wasn't an option back in PSIS, but we only had one required class. But let me tell you, that one required class was enough. If you know, you know. I feel more overwhelmed with the course requirements and the level of the material, but less overwhelmed overall because I kind of know a lot about Yonsei, how to get around campus, where to get your student ID, how to buy the varsity jacket with your name engraved on it, how to take the shuttle bus. So overall, I feel less overwhelmed when it comes to being a Yonsei student, but very overwhelmed with being a graduate student. And one thing that contributes to my stress is, of course, grading. In PSIS, or undergraduate degrees, things felt more straightforward because if you had over 97 points out of 100, you would get an A+. But in GSIS, it's relative grading, which is kind of more like the Korean type of grading. That means only a limited number of students can get an A+, which makes it way more stressful because it's not just about doing well, you're constantly aware of how you're doing compared to your classmates. And in case you want to get a scholarship for good grades, you have to compete for those A+. Even though it's graduate school, GSIS still keeps a lot of that classic university vibe. There are MTs, you can attend the Yonsei versus Korea games, you can join a club, there are different student activities. So it makes the experience feel familiar to your undergrad experience, but with older students, so you don't miss out on the social side of campus life too much. The thing is, my undergrad degree was in Korean, and that's why I call it PSIS and not PSIR. But now my degree is fully in English. All classes are in English, and there are many more foreign students around all the time. So I feel more comfortable to talk to my classmates because I know that I can talk to them in English. With my Korean classmates, although I met really nice people, I think I felt very, very shy to go to them in Korean. That's on me, by the way. I joined a Korean program, I have to speak Korean, but I felt more shy, and now I'm a bit more comfortable to go up to people and ask for help or information or whatever that may be. So I feel more social in GSIS. The vibe is definitely different though. I think undergraduate degrees, you kind of have this youth vibe, while in graduate school, I think you're there for a more specific reason and you're kind of thinking way more about your career. So there's definitely a different vibe, but don't worry, like you still have the chance of living some experiences from university. So overall, PSIS and GSIS are similar in some ways, like the class structure, student activities, but also very different in grading, when it comes to buildings, and of course, course systems. But both have their own unique charms, and I'm glad I got to experience both. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an incredible semester, and good luck on your midterm exams.